Well, hello, this is the third video of the day, and I'm going to continue answering a question raised on YouTube around animations for the cribs, and this one has to do with the health bars. I had a second video for once because I want to keep videos short, and second because I wanted to experiment and make certain that I had an idea of what I'm answering. I had an idea of how to solve the question, but sometimes I've tried just to do the video and then I've made mistakes in the middle of it. So I made an example, and you may see me later going back and forward from the template that I already created. In the meantime, like always, here you can have my information and contact me if you have any other question. And so far I'm loving adding like things that I haven't really thought of, or that I was not really interested at the moment, and when I added to the game, it ended up working much better. So in the last video we changed our little seeker, and I added these animations from the example of Rojo Hand. Quite likely later I'll have to change this. Well, let me do it right now. The collision polygon, because I realized that especially the towers were getting confused at the time of shooting the enemies. So I'm going just to run it here. 1 second here. This is what I want. What happened? Run it. Was it not running? Okay, run layout. It's not running, of course. Again. Okay, I don't know what I was doing. Well, I was having this, so something like this. So first thing that I'm going to add, I'm going to change is I'm going to eliminate the call to this boss animation, because that's going to give me problems later. I already figured that out. So I'm just going to, since we are using the effects, I am just going to do that. And also the boss animation right now is much bigger than everything else, so that's not going to work so well. So we should do that. So the question that I had was around not only change the animations, that what we have here, but also to add a health bar. So each one of the enemies should have a health bar, and it should change, of course, whenever one of the towers is shooting them. So how do we do that? Well, first thing, of course, would be to add the health bar. I was lazy and I was just going to clone this one. It could be just basically any other square, and I'm just going to put it green. That's not a bad thing. And this one was going to be 20, so I'm going to make it 20 and 6. Making it 20 because I'm going to use that number, and I thought that it looked okay. And I'm just going to move this over here. So these three, I'm going to explain really quick what I did for these three that I already created. Perhaps I shouldn't even create these elements here, but there's a better way to do things. I'm just going to leave it at that. And this one is not going to be called bullet 3, is going to be called health bar. And instead of bullet behavior, I'm just going to add, because that's, I guess I should have copied, the pin behavior. So the pin behavior helps to pin something like one element to another. So if I say that this one is pinned to this, then they are going to move at the same time. And that's something that I'm going to check here right away. I'm going to go for the start of the layout. I'm going to press the letter B. That is going to create an empty event. And I'm going to say, I'm going to check to go for each health bar well, back, that's for each health bar, and I'm going to pin that health bar to the closest seeker. So I'm going to say for each health bar, I'm going to pick a seeker, and is going to be the nearest, and it's going to ask me for a position, so I'm going to say for the health bar dot x and health bar dot y. So I'm looking into each health bar, and then I'm looking for the nearest seeker, the nearest enemy, and then I'm going to say our health bar is going to be pinned to object to the seeker, and I'm going to say position and angle. Now that's going to work for the first three, and you see that they are moving at the same time, but and of course you see that they are just being left there whenever those towers are destroyed, these enemies are destroyed. But then the new enemies do not have that. So I'm going to do it first for the normal enemies, for the ones that appear here in gray, and is going to be a little bit similar. So I'm going to copy this action that I know that I'm going to use. So here we had our function that was creating crypts, and this first event is the one that takes care of creating a normal enemy. So the thing is that now I have to create a new health bar. So well, I'm going to leave this here, doesn't really matter, I'm going to move it later, just to do it in order. So I need to say that the seeker is going to spawn another object. That object is going to be the health bar. The layer, I think I'm going to say 1, because the 0 is the background. An image point, it's going to be 0. So this is not going to work. It's not going to work well. So I know that I have to make modifications. So I'm going to show you. It works okay for these three, but then this second one, well, I haven't. They are being created here. So like, let me see. Now it's when I need this. So I create first the health bar, and then I have to pin it to the seeker. So, but they are not going to move okay. And what is that? Oh, I think they are underneath. Yes, here in this case. So you see that they don't work okay. These are normal enemies, and this is not the position that I want them, right? I would like to have them like these three at the beginning that is a little bit above the enemy. So what I'm going to do is to add the seeker. I'm going to pick the default, and I'm going to add the seeker another image point. So here you have the image points. Originally you have it here right in the middle, so I'm going to add another one that is going to be something above, something like this. But on top of that, I'm going to right click and say apply to all animations. So that means that every animation is going to have a little image point that is out and above the normal one. And now when I say spawn, I'm going to say image point 1. So now let's try this. So the three original ones that I said, they don't matter so much. And now they are working a little bit better. You see that they are a little bit towards the left, so that really has to do with the image point of the bar. The image point also has is right here in the middle. I think it would be better here, especially because I'm going to make the bar decrease in this direction. So if I have my origin over here, that's going to work better. So let's do this. Of course I have to reposition the original three, but for the new ones are going to appear okay. I guess I could move it a little bit more towards the right. So seeker, I guess default, image point, and then instead of over there, I'm going to say a little bit towards the center, and that should make it work okay. Yes, I know I have to recreate for this one, so I'm going to do that in a second. I just want to see how it looks for this one. So I think it's better. I guess I'm going to leave it like that. it works. I could center it a little bit more, but that doesn't matter. So I'm going to move these three, oops, to make them more centered, and that's fine. Then it's going to work. Now this is the same thing that I have to repeat for the other kind of enemies, so that make it work. Now there are certain things that I need to add to the health bar to make it work correctly and to make it well, change its size when the health of the seeker is or the monster is going to be decreasing. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add an instance variable that I usually call it belongs to, and this is basically to say a particular health bar belongs to this enemy. So what I'm going to say, since whenever I'm inside the function in this action I already have one enemy selected, I could say something on these terms: health bar set belongs to the seeker UID. The UID is the is the identifier that you have over here. So where is it? Oh, I'm sorry. You have over here UID. So that one is the unique identifier of this element. So that way I could talk about one particular element that you see. In this case it's 36, this one is 4, this one is 35, and whenever I create a new one, you're going to have a unique identifier, and then you can talk about one particular enemy. So I need to add this, and of course I'm going to add this to the other two. I should have done it in one and then copy paste everything, but well, you get the idea. Now it turns that every type of enemy has a different health, and the width of the bar still should be let's say the same. We're just representing a percentage there. So what I'm going to do is add another instance variable that, if I'm not mistaken, in my example, my own example, I call it max health. You see that I've already done all that there. So I'm going to call it max health. Okay, and what I'm going to say is that the max health, so set value, is the seeker health. So that means that even if we have an enemy that has a lot of health, like in the case of the third one that is 300, the bar is going to know what is the max health. So it's 300. Of course, minimum could be 0 or less than that. At that point, what I have is basically I took Excel and I created a small formula to figure out what I needed, and then I just copied the formula that I have here. So 20 is the width that right now that we have originally for the bar. The seeker's health at any given time, I'm going to basically I'm calculating what is the percentage of the current health compared with the max health. So this is what we have. You don't have to believe me. I made a calculation. I actually do it like a rule of 3 and make it work. So I put an example. If 30 is the normal health, that's 100%. Then 25, how much is it? And well, I calculated that's 83%, and then I converted that into this 0.83, and then that's the width that I want. So you can copy it. I'm going to leave it there for a second so you can basically copy it. And now what I'm going to do with this formula that I worked really hard, like for 2 minutes to calculate, I am going to go back to here and I'm going to look for the event where I have collision. Well, no, that's with the bullet. So I have only 2 events that have collisions with the bullet, and this one is the one that is decreasing the health. So now what I need to say is the health bar and this is where it's going to get interesting, the width is this value. Okay, if I don't do anything, if I just put it there, it's going to work wrong, and we're going to see it here. You see, I was able to, you see that all the bars are being decreased, and that doesn't work so well. You see, and it does weird things. So why is this not working correctly? Because I'm just saying, when I say that I want to change the width of the health bar, I should be talking about one specific health bar. I shouldn't be talking about just health bar. So I shouldn't do it like this. What I should do is add to this event a sub-event, and I'm already selecting here one particular enemy. I will have to find which health bar belongs to that enemy. And guess what? We already have a variable that says belongs. So what I'm going to say is health bar compare instance variable belongs to, and it should be the same as the seeker dot UID. Okay, and now I move this here, so this should make it. So you see, if I'm not mistaken, it's not decreasing it. Why? Okay, for the first three it shouldn't work because I think I never assigned the health bar to these two, but you see that in the other to these three I should have added that. But you see, with the other ones, as soon as I begin to hit them, they are being decreased individually. You see, I should add something because quite likely the health bars are being like dropped there. So I should say something like, if the width is closer to 0, then just destroy it. But or whenever I'm able to destroy one of the enemies, just destroy its health bar, because I don't want them to disappear like this. So that's something that I should do. And just to fix these 3 health bars, since I already have those elements, I'm going to say, like, look, this one belongs to the one that has UID 36. I'm going to do it manually. So this one says 36. This one that here belongs to the UID 4. And this one belongs to UID 35. Now it should work. And now when I destroy here one of the enemies that is here, I'm going to say something similar to what we did just a second ago. That is a sub-event. Well, I'm actually going to move this below, and I'm going to look for the health bar, and then I'm going to say compare variable. If it belongs to seeker UID, then destroy this health bar. I don't like to destroy the element that I'm using here, so perhaps I should, before I make a reference, I think it works, but I'm just going to move it here and see if that works. So I don't see why. Okay, because I'm never setting also the max health of this one. Okay, that works anyway. There you go. And they should disappear. Before we were not able to see them, but they were still there. So now you have working health bars, and well, they are working individually, and now you know how to use the UID to be able to select a specific health bar that belongs to a specific enemy and then control them. So I think that works quite okay. Okay, in this case I also should do the same thing. Whenever they reach their destination, I also should make this health bar disappear, but well, it's right there. In case that you were wondering again about the formula, I'm going to show it to you one more time. It's there. And that's just to calculate what percentage of the size of the width in this case I should make the health bar. And since I already calculate the max health at the beginning of the well, basically at the creation of a particular health bar, then it should work perfect for all of them. So I'm going to have this here, and I think that's pretty much it. Let me see if I think at the moment I don't really need anything else, so I am, I think, done with this part of the question that was made to me like well, yesterday. So I think I'm going to consider it like answered. And apart from that, well, I appreciate all the comments that I've received and hope to see more questions and additions to the game. If not, I think the next one is going to be just about score. We haven't added any kind of score to our tower defense, not that it's complicated at this point. And well, let me know what you think. Thank you.